Picture this. You're the owner of a small business and half your team decides to ask for time off at the exact same time. So what do? Do you approve some requests while rejecting others? Do you reject all of them outright? Or are you just a very generous person and you're going to approve all of them and deal with the consequences later? No one likes dealing with this situation. And of course, without proper leave planning, you'll find yourself in this scenario more often than most. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a closer look at the most common challenges companies face when it comes to leave management and going over the different strategies you can implement so you can address them head on. That way you can ensure that your employees are happy, most importantly, productive. Let's start by taking a closer look at these challenges and getting a better understanding of the most common ones that occur. The first one being inconsistent policy application. Different managers might have different interpretations of your leave policy, especially if it's not clear to them. Some might be more strict when it comes to enforcing the rules, while others might be lenient and just a simple heads up will suffice for them. I'm sure you could just imagine how upset an employee must be if one of their coworkers in their team gets easily approved while others who go through the same motions get rejected. It's this level of frustration and confusion that of course leads to resentment and in turn causes your employees to leave. So of course we want to avoid that. The next most common challenge that businesses face when it comes to leave management is errors and calculations. When you're a small company, it doesn't happen as often, but when you start growing and you have different employees who have different start dates, that's when the problems persist. Most companies like to use accruals when it comes to paid time off, and when you have different start dates and different calculations need to be made, then that's when those errors pop up. If you have special rules like seniority entitlement or role-based entitlement, or if you offer time off instead of overtime, that's where things get really messy. And of course, you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. The next most common challenge when it comes to leave management is just a poor communication of policies. Essentially, if the policies are not visible to everyone, they're not easily accessible, they're siloed, and employees have to go through other teammates, how much leave they have, when they can take time off, that's where things get really problematic because employees don't know what they can ask for and managers don't know what they can enforce. So that's another thing we want to avoid when it comes to leave management. The last most common challenge in leave management that businesses face is going to be a lack of visibility. When someone takes time off, others should be notified of it, and of course, it should be top of mind. A manager should know when their A player is about to take 2 weeks off if it coincides with a milestone they have to deliver. So knowing when different employees are going to be working and not working is going to be critical to, of course, productivity. This is where teams end up getting understaffed, overworked, and clients get frustrated because you miss those deadlines. While I could obviously spend days talking about every small challenge in leave management, of course, these are the biggest ones that tend to occur. And if you solve these problems, then a lot of the other ones will be solved as well. So why don't we take a closer look at some of the strategies you can implement to ensure that these challenges never pop up again. The first thing, of course, is having very transparent and clear leave policies, outlining what types of leave are available, if there's blackout periods, how they can request leave, who they need to request leave to, and of course, making it easily accessible is going to go a long way to ensuring that trust and making sure that that's not a problem for your employees so that they feel comfortable taking their leave. The policies you have in place should be written in plain, simple language, not requiring a thesaurus, and again, should be available in multiple places, not even just one. The next big thing you can do to ensure that you don't have problems when it comes to leave management is to review and revise your policies regularly. Leave laws change all the time. And if you're a globally distributed team, ensuring that you're compliant is going to be important for sure for legal reasons. But it's also a good habit to just review and check if your calculations are correct, if you're applying the right amount of leave, and of course, if your employees are using them, because you want to ensure that they're using their time off so they can rest and recharge. This one's a bit more proactive, but of course, planning for absences in advance is going to save you a lot of headaches in the future, ensuring that your employees are cross-trained to take on more work when someone's out, and of course, being mindful of the fact that you're going to have to take on that person's workload when they're away. So redistributing it evenly amongst the other teammates is also going to help you avoid problems internally. If it's an option for you, you can also look at bringing in contractors or part-time work during these seasons when your employees take the time off. But of course, that's going to be specific to your organization and to your budget. Now, while everything I've mentioned so far has been strategic, of course, a lot of these problems can be addressed if you just implement a leave management solution like Vacation Tracker. Vacation Tracker makes it easy to keep all your policies in one place. It makes it easily accessible to everyone. People know where to request time off, how they can do it. And frankly, you don't even have to be involved. Once you set up once, it runs by itself automatically. You don't have to worry about checking those calculations either. I know I'm a big advocate here, but I do think it's the easiest way moving forward. So definitely take a look if leave management is posing a problem for your organization. While understanding these challenges and learning the different strategies and tactics is going to help you to overcome these challenges in leave management, I think it's also important that we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, which is, of course, your company culture. There are things you can start implementing today that's going to have a massive effect on employee satisfaction and your company culture as a whole. Things like respecting time off your organization. If an employee requests the time off, then they should be able to take it without feeling guilt tripped or pressured to cancel it. They need the time to rest and recharge, and that's how you ensure that your employees are productive and come back with fresh new ideas. Another thing you can implement right now is just being flexible overall with your policies. If you allow full days, maybe consider offering half days for time off. And if you offer half days, consider offering hourly leave. It's this kind of flexibility that makes employees feel trusted and encouraged to take their time off because they can take the exact amount they need and not what's company standards. Even just something small like allowing for remote work when they need to have an appointment goes a long way to establishing that trust. Another big lever that can be used is just leading by example, especially for your managers. If your manager is taking time off or PTO, then that of course reverberates back to the employees and they feel comfortable taking that time off. And again, it's not such a hush-hush kind of culture. At the end of the day, what's important here is to encourage open communication amongst everyone. Be open about when you're thinking about taking vacation, be open about when you're going to take vacation, and even just be open about how the vacation was. It's this kind of culture that you're trying to create where people feel comfortable taking time off and it's not seen as such a taboo. And of course, the benefit of being open with everything is that people feel more likely to share and you could plan in advance. So you will know if an employee is thinking about taking time off during the holidays or perhaps during a summer break, you can already keep that in mind as you plan the different bandwidths or workloads. Overcoming the different challenges in leave management isn't about implementing one single thing, but rather a mix of strategy, tactics, and of course, a larger culture change, because it doesn't come down to just one person, but everyone being involved and being part of that change. Now, of course, this could all be facilitated by picking a good leave management system. And of course, there are many out there. So I took it upon myself to put together a video talking about how you can pick the best leave management system, what to look out for, what to avoid, and of course, a few suggestions along the way. So if you're interested and you're ready to start on that journey, I highly suggest you check it out. The link to the video will be right here. And hopefully I'll see you in that video.